The only thrift shop you may have heard of in the past 10 years was Macklemore's hit single in 2012, but today, we're here to tell you about the trendy way of shopping that is taking over the world.
I'm gonna pop some tags, only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome.
Thrifting, or buying and selling secondhand items, has been around for centuries. In fact, before the mass production and commercialization of goods, secondhand markets were the norm. Beginning in the early 18th century in London, clothing was sold by salesmen for new clothing or clothes brokers for secondhand items. It wasn't until the Industrial Revolution that mass-produced goods became more readily available, and the concept of buying secondhand items became less common. The modern thrifting movement as we know it today began in the early 20th century. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, people had to make do with what they had and often turned to secondhand items as a means of survival. Thrift stores began to pop up as a way for charitable organizations to provide clothing and other necessities to those in need. The popularity of thrifting continued to grow throughout the 20th century with the rise of vintage fashion in the 1960s and 70s. Secondhand clothing and accessories became trendy and desirable, and thrift stores became a go-to destination for fashion-savvy shoppers. In recent years, thrifting has experienced a resurgence in popularity, driven in part by the growing awareness of the negative environmental impact of the fashion industry. People are turning to thrifting as a way to reduce waste, support sustainable fashion, and find unique, affordable items. Today, thrifting has become a mainstream trend, with countless thrift stores and online marketplaces dedicated to buying and selling secondhand goods. The benefits of thrifting, both for the environment and for individuals looking for affordable and unique items, continue to make it a popular choice for shoppers around the world. According to a study commissioned by the online resale platform ThredUp, the US secondhand apparel market is valued at $36 billion today, and is forecast to reach $77 billion in 5 years. 1 in 5 Americans will shop at a thrift store during a given year, which is about the same number who will shop at any major department store. The COVID-19 pandemic had a significant impact on the thrifting industry, both positive and negative. On the negative side, many thrift stores were forced to close their doors during lockdowns and stay-at-home orders, leading to a decline in sales and revenue. In addition, the economic downturn caused by the pandemic meant that many people were tightening their budgets and not spending as much money on non-essential items, including secondhand goods. On the positive side, however, the pandemic also led to a surge in interest in thrifting as people looked for ways to save money and reduce waste. With traditional retail stores closed or operating on limited capacity, people turned to online thrifting platforms like eBay, Poshmark, and ThredUp to buy and sell secondhand items. In addition, the pandemic also led to a renewed focus on sustainability and ethical consumption, with more people turning to thrifting as a way to reduce their environmental footprint and support sustainable fashion. Overall, the pandemic had both positive and negative effects on the thrifting industry. While many thrift stores struggled during lockdowns, online thrifting platforms and the growing interest in sustainability and ethical consumption helped to drive the popularity of thrifting forward.
Gavin Saint.
Kjarval.
Sydney.
I found this at the bins in the Goodwill bins in Camarillo. I found these sweats at a vintage like mom and pop thrift shop in Ventura. This shirt I think was from the Camarillo bins as well.
I found this sweatshirt at a vintage store a couple months back on Teal Boulevard, and then the rest I just got from my basketball team.
I got this in a cute little store in San Bernardino.
They're like pretty much brand new when I got them, so it's always nice when you find something like that nice for that cheap. So I mean, I guess it was pretty fun, but yeah, no particular like exciting memories from these outfits.
It was one of those things where I really like green. Green's my color, I'd say, and I saw it in the store, and I knew I had to have it. So I'd say that's the most important memory associated with it, but nothing really crazy.
This shirt especially, I went with a friend, and it was a cool time.
Like collectively, hoodie, sweats, shirt, probably like around $2.
About $30.
I think this was like $9.
There's like shops that you could you automatically know you're gonna find something nice. Like if you were to go to like a place like Top Stitch, or there's some places on like Main Street in Ventura or in Oxnard that like they're like vintage thrift shops where like you know you're gonna get something good, but tend to be more expensive. I would say my favorite place to go is probably like the bins or just Goodwill. You're just like leaving it completely up to chance whether you get something good, and you actually have to go through all the clothes, and yeah.
Probably Vertigo and Top Stitch on Thousand Oaks Boulevard, and then down in Ventura there's a place called Buffalo Exchange that I really enjoy going to.
It's a bright purple Nike old like jumpsuit for basketball, and I think I got it at the bins. Super cool find.
Probably my Carhartt Eisenhower sweatshirt. It was like $70, but online it goes for like $100. And I saw it in the store, and I didn't really care about the price. I really had to have it.
If you go to a Goodwill and then you start looking through like 2 racks and you don't find anything, don't just like give up and not look through the rest of the racks. Or like when you're looking through racks, you gotta look through every single piece, because sometimes there's like gems hidden or like tucked underneath or behind.
Don't spend too much, and don't be that guy that stays at like one section for so long to the point where you don't let other people shop in that same section. If you find something, grab it, move on. If you don't, move on. Just don't be the guy that stalls everybody.
Usually pieces that are like Like if I go to the Goodwill and I find like a old like Letterman jacket or some like super extremely baggy jeans, but they're like nice quality, that I would never fit into, never wear out. Yeah, I usually like sell them, and I usually turn a pretty good profit, especially for the big ones that I sell. I got into thrifting because I think my older brother's friends were like huge thrifters when I was like pretty like at the beginning of COVID, and yeah, I pretty much just got into it from them. Like they kind of showed me the ropes, and then I realized that I didn't have to spend a fortune on clothing, and I got to wear clothes that I actually like. So
I think I got into thrifting not only because it's what's trending right now and I like following the trends, but also because I didn't have a very good fashion sense, and that's something I wanted to get into as I'm growing older and making more public appearances. I want to be able to look presentable to other people, so I'd say that's another reason why I got into thrifting.
I would say probably my mom. Because she really likes to shop and I don't. And so she'd want to go shopping, and I found that thrift stores are kind of like a little adventure because you gotta like look through everything and like find stuff rather than just, oh, there's 5 of this same shirt and 5 of this color. It's like random things that.
it's just something you can do with your friends. So, I mean, you get to hang out with your friends for an hour or two. I mean, it's just fun to socialize.
I almost never go by myself just because I feel like it's boring. Going with friends, I never go with family, but going with friends just kind of makes the experience more fun because you guys are, maybe there's a little competition aspect where you guys are trying to find the best find. But I'd say, yeah, definitely going with friends makes the experience a lot better.
I like going with people. It's like a cool way to like hang out and bond and like showing people what I got and like telling them like, look at how cheap this was. Like it's a very cool like, wow.
I mean, I remember I was shuffling through the bins and I just like saw something bright purple and I was like, what? I just grabbed it instantly, and then it turned out to be like a Nike, and I'm like, easy bag, took that home, and it's kind of been my kind of like fashion statement whenever I go to like parties or something like that. I just kind of wear it because it always catches people's eyes.
Thrifting is often presented as a sustainable alternative to fast fashion and other forms of consumerism, and has gained popularity in recent years due to its environmental and economic benefits. It contributes to the long-term sustainability by reducing waste, conserving resources, and promoting a circular economy. Thrifting helps divert usable items from ending up in landfills. By extending the lifespan of products, it reduces the overall waste generated by society. This is crucial because textile waste in particular has a significant environmental impact, including greenhouse gas emissions and water consumption. When you buy secondhand items, you're not only reducing waste, but also conserving the resources required to produce new goods. Manufacturing new products involves extracting raw materials, consuming energy, and generating waste and pollution. Thrifting reduces the demand for new production, thereby conserving resources like water, energy, and materials. The production and transportation of new goods contribute to carbon emissions. By opting for secondhand items, you decrease the need for manufacturing and associated emissions. Additionally, thrifting reduces the energy required for the recycling or disposal of unwanted items. Thrifting plays a vital role in fostering a circular economy. Instead of following the traditional linear model of take, make, and dispose, a circular economy emphasizes resource generation and minimizing waste. When you buy secondhand, you participate in the reuse and recycling of products, extending their lifespan and reducing the need for new production. Thrifting allows consumers to make more conscious and ethical choices regarding their purchases. fast fashion and mass production often involve exploitative labor practices and harmful working conditions. By supporting secondhand markets, you help reduce the demand for products associated with these negative aspects. Additionally, thrifting provides affordable options for individuals or families on tight budgets, allowing them to access quality items at lower prices. It's important to note that while thrifting is an excellent sustainable practice, it is not a complete solution. It should be complemented with other sustainable habits like reducing overall consumption, repairing and upcycling items, and donating or properly recycling unwanted goods. By combining these efforts, we can make significant progress towards a more sustainable and circular economy.